Today, we're going to talk about creating family experiences at home, giving you an in-depth look at why you should consider home improvement in the first place.
You're listening to the Home and Outdoor Living Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Garcia, and my goal is to educate you on various home living topics and provide you with actionable steps to take in your projects. If you're a homeowner, you're in the right place. On to today's episode.
Welcome back to the Home and Outdoor Living Podcast. Thanks for tuning in again. Today, we've got a special episode just with myself, but today we're going to talk about creating family experiences at home. As you already know, we're all about the home improvement space here on this podcast, and it's giving you an in-depth look at why you should consider home improvement in the first place. Now, I get it. Home improvement is not for everybody, especially, I would say, in my opinion, if you're in a starter home. If you're in a starter home, more or less your improvements on that property, and I'd say for the most part, can be in the DIY category, unless there's some specialized trade that needs to be in there. But certainly when you are living in your forever home, that's when the game changes a little bit. That's when you can put your own touch. That's when you can actually live the lifestyle that you're looking for. And that's also when your investment in that home improvement or in the property itself can also be sellable. So often those leisure, that lifestyle of choices in a starter home isn't always sellable. And I would talk to your realtor about that in your area. Now, so this conversation is really geared towards those who are in your forever home or are in a home that you feel is not your forever home, but you have the potential to make it so. There are three categories that I've placed to discuss home improvement on your forever home. So the first one is day-to-day function. Now, this is stuff like the way your kitchen is set up, the way your front entrance is set up, the way your outdoors is set up. And so to really drive this piece home, for me, one of the gripes that I've got is I don't have a mudroom on the main floor, a mudroom that might have laundry in it, where all the cleaning supplies are. So we've got to go up and down the basement stairs in order to get to our laundry, to get to our cleaning. This day-to-day function can be quite a pain in the butt, especially if during your cleaning day you've got to go up and down multiple times, taking laundry, taking vacuums and all this stuff. So if I had the ability to, that is certainly one thing that if I had the space for, I would try to add. However, I'm in a starter home, so that's not really going to be the case for me, but it's certainly in my forever home, that's going to be one of the key items that I'm looking for. So that's just one example, day-to-day function, right? Like that is not really a huge value other than making life a little bit easier at home, right? In the lifestyle that we want to live. A couple other ideas for that is just the way your bedrooms are set up, or the way your living rooms are set up, or if you have a garage or a carport or no garage at all, right? Can you add that? Can you add shelters out there? Where are your tools? Is your tools inside the garage? Is it in a tool shed, easily accessible? Do you have a workshop? So this is a category for day-to-day function, like everything that you got to do on a daily basis. Is your home optimized for that? And if it's not, is there an easy way of doing that? Or do you got to do a home reno for that, right? Or do you just put it on the back burner for when you have your forever home? Maybe you shop for it, or maybe the forever home has a room that you can renovate. The second option I would classify would be leisure time. So when the day-to-day is over, you're done work, you're done dinner, you just want to hang out at home. Is your home set up in that way, the way you want to live it? So for us, I would say the number one thing is our entertainment, our media area, right? So in our living room, it's pretty well optimized. I would say maybe there's one more thing missing, which is my movie quality TV, which is still on the list. But is it set up the way you guys want, right? So for us, at our house, we're basically watching something 24/7 if we're here. Audio is a huge component for that for us. I want good audio, not just the small speakers on the TVs. They have very little sound output, so they're not that great. So we've solved that, right? And we have our movie packages. We have Netflix. We've got Disney Plus. We basically got all the amenities when it comes to TV shows and movies, because we're always watching them. So short of, investing hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars in purchasing movies, which we do have our special Retro Movie Collection, we have all that available to us. So what is that for you for leisure time, right? Is it an entertainment space in your basement, right? A lot of people have that in their forever homes. Is it a play area for the kids? Is it a dining space? Is it a reading room, right? So often in your household, you're going to have something particular in this category. And so sometimes you can repurpose a room and just through simple furnishings change the outlook of that room. But sometimes you want things built in, like for a media room, for example. You can easily do a home improvement project in a room to integrate your TV into the wall and have your speakers run through the wall and no wires running around and have a Wi-Fi optimized in the house. These are things that you want to do in your free time, right? They're what make your space enjoyable when you're not working, when you're not cleaning, when you're not chasing the kids around. So for the last one, I would say is my favorite personally. And so I have a little bit of a bias to that. As you already know, if you've checked into my background, we and our company and our family company, we design and build outdoor spaces for families particularly. And so we're going to jump to the screen here. And this is the homepage of our site. When you come to this site, you're going to see this is really the integral piece. So the last part I would say for creating a family experience is through the outdoors. And something really interesting happens when you have an outdoor space catered to your lifestyle. It is much more powerful, in my opinion, than anything else you can do in the home. So, and the reason for that is because it's outside. That's it. It doesn't matter what your outdoor space looks like, just the fact that you're outside gives you so much more benefit to your life, to your health, to your friends, to your family, and a lot more enjoyment, a lot more vigor, right? Health-wise, you want to look up the health benefits of being outside in nature. There's plenty of medical journals, I'm sure, for that, but it really doesn't matter what the outdoor space is, as long as you have something that's going to pull people together. So on the screen here, you're going to see, this is really our focus in our company, and a lot of landscape design companies, they have different focuses. But for us, it doesn't really matter what you want to build as long as it's going to engage your friends and family together or engage you. So the three categories that we focus on in the outdoor element is beautifying your home. This is an integral piece, right? So often this category focuses on more so the front yard, where we are increasing the curb appeal. So this also increases the home value, but also gives you a little bit of a sense of pride of ownership in terms of what are you walking up to. Every day when you leave for work and you come home from work and the kids come home from school and go to school, friends come over, family comes over, neighbors walking by, what's the statement that you're leaving with them? Is it that you care about the environment? Is it that you care about the way you present yourself? Is it the way that you maintain your property and keep its upkeep going? You do the roof every 10 years, you do this, you do that. That's really what we're talking about when we're beautifying the home. It's really just the appeal. It's reaffirming your property itself, right? So you have a home, it looks like this. Does the rest of it look degraded and raggedy? It's the first impression, right? And so you could have $1 million home on the inside of the house, but if it doesn't look so good on the outside, that is the impression you're leaving. Now, this is not the hugest component. And of course, it doesn't really help you connect with family, except for the impression, right? So when you have a good impression, often the experience to the end is going to be good unless there's a disconnect, which can always happen no matter what. But it's very hard to recover from a bad first impression. Often that's why there's a lot of preparation for going into a job interview, right? Or going into a sales meeting, or going on a first date, right? So the first impression really matters. And so with every project, when we have the opportunity to, at least in the spaces that we're being asked to work in, we're going to make sure that the impression, the appeal is good, right? Because you wouldn't want to invest a bunch of money into something that didn't look good, right? There's always going to be a disconnect there. Like, you can have the fire pit, but if the fire pit doesn't look good, it's just some sticks on the ground, if you're not camping, it's not really a good impression, right? So that's that. The two that we're going to talk about the most right here is de-stressing your life and connecting with family, right? So de-stress your life. This doesn't mean that you could be single living in the house, and this is going to be your priority because maybe you're not an entertainer. You don't have people come over and whatever. Maybe you're introverted. You're a little bit hermit. I am like that. So we're going to focus on that element when someone reaches out to us about de-stressing your life. So when you come to the page here, actually the one page that we're testing this to see if it's the right option for people is for outdoor lighting, because one of the simplest ways to add the atmosphere to even an existing property is just through lighting. Most homes do not have any outdoor lighting. They've got a bright front porch light, maybe a light over the driveway, and a back porch light. And it's like a floodlight. It doesn't flatter any part of the landscape. It just makes sure that you can see where you're going. But for somebody that wants to actually sit in their space and enjoy it, that light doesn't add anything to it. So as you see in this picture, in this project, they already invested into a nice garden, but they didn't have any lighting. So this project was actually a couple of years ago. One of the things we did was we went to the property, we looked at, okay, how people move in and out, where they are, what they're doing, and we wanted to accentuate the features in the landscape at nighttime with some lighting. And so what this does, it paints a whole different atmosphere at night, but allows you to still enjoy the landscape at nighttime too, rather than it just being pitch black. Right? No one enjoys that. There's nothing to look at. The same project, they had a pathway coming down to the pool. This project, they have a hot tub. So we lit up the fence. We lit up most of the specimen plants in the garden so you can see it at nighttime. Ponds, the lighting in ponds is just fantastic. It looks different when it's lit up at nighttime. And you can still see the fish at night. You can see the shadows moving and trickling in the water. Whether you entertain or don't entertain, but you've got some kind of feature in your landscape and you don't have lighting, that would be my go-to add. Best value that you can instantly change your outdoor space, primarily because most people are going to enjoy it in the evening, right? So if most people work 5 days a week, and if they have families or not, 5 days a week, you're going to be out there in the evening. Now, the 2 other days of the week, you're probably going to be there in the afternoons, but you're still going to be there in the evening. So 7 days of the week, if you're going to go be in outdoor space, you're going to be there in the evening, and 2 days of the week, you might be there during daylight hours. So it's a no-brainer. You want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to see it. You want to be able to see what's going on. People can't see in the pitch black. They're a little bit uneasy, even if you know the property. It's just you still get that. But when you can see it and it looks awesome, it's a different atmosphere. So that's one way. And so the final one when it comes to outdoor space is connecting, right? Who are you connecting with? Friends, family, yourself, nature. So many ways to dissect that one. At the end of the day, even if it's just yourself and nature, to some degree, there's an argument there that is a family to a certain degree. Now we have it right now, jumps over to the outdoor kitchen page. We have a bunch of pages that show different options that are available. But let me just explain how an outdoor kitchen allows you to connect with family. When you think of getting together with family, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It's probably an Easter dinner. It's probably Thanksgiving dinner. It's probably a New Year's dinner. It's probably a Christmas dinner. Whatever holiday you have in your culture, it's probably you getting together and having some food. So what better way to do that than outside during the warmer months? In this picture, we have quite the fully loaded outdoor kitchen island. There's a commercial grill with a cabinet. That's either a dishwasher or a mini fridge. All the cabinets. I think there's even a sink on there. There's a bar top. So you're doing everything that you do in your interior kitchen. Whoever's hanging out with you during those get-togethers, while whoever's cooking is cooking, you can do that right outside. And in this one, you can even prep outside. So you bring all your food out, prep everything in the garbage, and you start cooking away. That's what I would say would be one of the ways in the outdoors that you can connect with family, right? And so it's really all about in the outdoor kitchen. Sometimes you're just an avid barbecue griller, and so you'd rather grill and barbecue. You don't need an elaborate kitchen, but just a simple island with just enough room to keep everything there and grill, and then keep everything out in the outdoor storage. That's really all you need. And then for those that do entertain frequently or are always they're home, maybe they don't travel much, it's really good for those families that still want to have that outdoor environment. right? And other categories for that would be like swimming pools and fire pits is my favorite. I don't care how hot it is outside in the summer. If I'm out there, the fire pit's on, even at the lowest setting. Your gardens, your patios for your lounge seating and for your dining table, whatever the case is, there is something for the outdoors for you. I'd say that gives you a pretty good idea of what a home improvement project would mean for you, right? So day-to-day function, your leisure time indoors, and then your leisure time outdoors. And I hope I've given you enough information to start getting the juices flowing about what that means for you, what type of property you're in, and what projects might make sense for you. Aside from those three categories, I haven't really talked about just general maintenance of the property, right? So depending on what your property has, there's always going to be maintenance elements, right? Whether it's replacing the roof or the furnace or doing your spring and fall cleanup in the gardens or whatever the case might be. Of course, you're going to have maintenance on whatever features you've got. I'm not really talking about those type of home improvement projects, the maintenance ones. I'm really talking about setting up your property for the way you want to live, right? Whatever that might be. And investing that time and money into that to make your daily life more enjoyable, right? Something worth working really hard for, because we all have to work hard whether we want to or not. And so setting it up for something to really be worthwhile of having, that'd be fantastic. So there's gonna be some resources in the show notes and the description to the links that you see in here. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us either through the website or social media. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. If you found value in this episode, you can support us for free by subscribing, rating, and reviewing this podcast. See you next time.